Welcome to Enchanted Tarot. This is for the sign of Sagittarius. It is a general reading. That being said, it may or may not resonate with you. If it doesn't sound like it's your story, check your other placements. Your messages could be there. So, we have this situation with this Knight of Swords. It is what is at the root, okay? This Knight of Swords, he may have went to the extreme about something he believed was true in the moment. He was very focused on something he believed was true. He was convinced that he knew the truth or that they were right about something. They were overcome or overwhelmed by emotion, deep emotions, possibly the subconscious triggers maybe for this person. This may go deeper than they realized, or there could be deeper feelings here that night was not or had not been willing to look at, something maybe they've been avoiding. It could be that this knight was looking at something. They may have been triggered by something with the moon here, by an emotion, or an emotion that they were feeling that was similar to another, and reacted without thinking to that fear that emotion created within them. It feels like it could have been an accumulation. Excuse me. I'll be right back. I'll just get a drink. Sorry about that. Had a tickle in my throat. So, it feels like this person may have had an accumulation of negative thoughts of how something might play out, because they were practicing it in their mind, you know. I mean, they may not have, they most certainly did not speak what they were thinking, because this is a play going on in somebody's mind. They're playing out what they're going to say and what the other person might say or do. And this is just carrying a lot of negative thoughts surrounding that issue or that problem. It's these things that accumulated, that stirred up these emotions, that caused them to charge and to bring in this huge change that I feel has already happened. And so they would have felt, they would have been suspicious that somebody was pretending or had bad intentions, or were trying to trick them, pull the wool over their eyes. They had trust issues in effect. And this was because of inner demons. There's many swords here, so they've had a few bad experiences that cause them to think a certain way. Maybe they just tried to bury these things instead of dealing with them, you know, and they were lurking in the dark. I feel like they're examining here a situation. And it is a situation that they themselves have created, because she's creating this coin, or the design of or on the coin. So she's examining something, and maybe she is looking for mistakes, or is wondering how she might improve something. She could be examining the details of someone else's work or words. I feel like this person, whether this is you or them, because as you know, these energies can go vice versa. And this person, they're really up in their head and really in their emotions. You know, the emotions, the thoughts they have stir the emotions within them and create a lot of what they're feeling, but it's also affecting and creating what they are living, you know. And so this person, they don't really know how to come back, to proceed back, because she points back, to free themselves, to get these answers, to free themselves from this emotional and mental turmoil that they are experiencing, having to do with a situation, what's real, what's false, I mean, you know, the mistakes here, or where there could be improvement. I mean, this is somebody studying a situation because of a decision they are thinking of making for the future, because this is a future decision here. And so here at the bottom of the deck, we have this Two of Swords. Now, this is needing to make a decision, okay? A decision needs to be made, and the status quo needs to be upset before events can move forward. And the suit of the card gives you a clue on how to make it, which is, you know, communication, our thoughts. So the Two of Swords is about reason. But the sea and the moon show that intuition is going to play a role in this decision as well. So what the card is saying is that to make this decision, you will need to use everything at your disposal, you or them. The ravens in the picture represent thought and memory. So you or they will rely on past experience and logic. It's why they are looking at the coin. They're looking for the mistakes and looking for places where they could make an improvement. The blindfold that the person is wearing, okay, is telling you that you do not know everything. You don't have all of the facts, and you probably are not going to before this action is required. So you're not going to have all of your information going in. It's telling you that right now. So you're going to have to use everything at your disposal along with your intuition, because you are going to be missing things. So once you have all of the facts that you can gather, you will rely on your intuition to know how to wield the swords. Somebody is looking for that peaceful solution. Well, that's that person here who's trying to figure out how to get over the mountain, to overcome the obstacle, and it is really, really heavily on their mind. On the other side of the mountain is sitting the desired result, which is the Temperance card, which is a healing. And that is what they want, because that's what they're thinking of here in the Four of Swords, a peaceful solution, resolution. They're preparing for a future event here, and they are thinking of the other person. So it's like a period of regrouping, of learning what they need to know, of looking back at the mistakes and where and what needs to change, what needs to go. Yet recognizing or taking responsibility for having made a bad decision. And then taking action on what they have learned. It's been a long, rough road, this card says, but they are hopeful for the future. Right now, this person is puzzling. They are puzzling over how to restore the order, and we see that here at the heart of the reading. Somebody was unfair, and I feel like it was because of a hidden emotional issue, something deeper, something that was not shared with the other person at the time. But I feel like either they knew about it and were avoiding it, or they really didn't know about it until after, when they started really looking back, I mean, because here they're in that hangman energy again. Now, they put themselves in there because of an action they took, and so they're in there trying to understand. And in order to understand, they may have had to go back over the journey, which, could be uncomfortable for them, because they may have had to go quite deep, especially with the moon. There were hidden things here that they needed to look at, or that they had been avoiding to look at. Like I said, it could be different for everyone. Somebody wants to take action. They have been in this energy of the hangman. Now the hangman is reversed and they are upright. So an understanding here has been given to this hangman. Okay? This situation needs to be handled with care, I feel. Taking action on a relationship. He seems to now know what he must do to save this situation. He seems to know where he went wrong. And it feels like here in the future, he is now ready to take the action. He has the understanding. It's been given to him. It's been shown to him. He now knows how to create. Okay, it's like he now understands that his thoughts were manifesting things. They were manifesting this situation. His thoughts, his fears, the emotions behind the thoughts. This is about doing what is right. They know they've wounded somebody. So somebody could come forward here with an apology, an explanation, speaking the truth, speaking what's on their mind, making things right. See, now he knows, he understands, he knows what he must do to create order out of the chaos that he's created. And he has to do the right thing. And the right thing is taking responsibility for an action he took. And no, he doesn't have all the answers. He's got to take this action to get all of his answers. But in taking the action, he most definitely will. The sun is here. The sun restores the warmth. And this is about restoration. Now, let's look here, because this is very important. For whomever this is for, you or them, the 8th house has appeared, along with the south node and the sign of Cancer. So I believe I will start here with the south node. The South Node represents where we're coming from and what we're bringing into this life. Now, that includes lessons from our past lives and thus all of the gifts and qualities that you've already mastered. So, this is like taking those skills, what you've already mastered, with your intuition. It's just like the cards were saying. It shows us, the South Node shows us the areas where we fall back too often, or where we overindulge, or where we go to extremes. Well, that's what was being shown to this person in the Hanged Man. He's been given that understanding. And so this is where, because the South Node is really important. It's telling you don't rest on what you've learned, on your skills of the South Node at the expense of developing your North Node, which is the path that you're growing into in this life. And so you got to pay attention what the South Node is pointing out. And what it's pointing out is for this person to look at that area where they may go to extremes, where they may overindulge in, or where they may fall back too often upon. Because though that's the areas that are hindering their growth, you see? Karmic baggage, the past, and the path that you've followed until now. And that is exactly what this person's been doing, looking at the mistakes. I mean, you can put it all together. The 8th house, the house of mystery, intimacy, psychology, secrets, fears, power struggles, transformation. It's representing the areas that most of us wish to avoid, you see. Again, we go back to the South Node there. Because to dwell in those areas is to be willing to surrender control, and this is what this person is trying to avoid, you know. So with the 8th house, you or they could be forced to deal with a painful truth that they've been avoiding, something they've been avoiding to look at, which again is what these cards were talking about. And these go back, okay, or avoiding something that was uncomfortable for them, that they were trying to bury, something that that made them fearful because it was painful. And, you know, you'd just as soon push that away and shove it under a rug than face it or confront it. But it was hindering the growth. So it's saying that now is the time to look at those things so that you can grow, so that you can release it, because it no longer serves you. It's not serving you if it's keeping you stuck, if it's causing you pain. So the 8th house encourages you to look at the things that lurk in the shadows just beneath the surface. Now, we have the sign of Cancer. That's speaking to deep emotions, lost friendships and relationships. This is speaking to somebody who's highly sensitive, which the moon is talking about also. Somebody who's easily hurt because of past experiences. Somebody who takes things personally and overreacts, doesn't think, because it hits a trigger. They may easily misinterpret somebody's words or actions. It's important for this person to be more open about their feelings rather than internalizing them and making assumptions, which is what they have been doing. So you've been puzzled by this person's behavior, and I'm telling you why. I'm telling you why they reacted the way that they did. The water fairy. Our feelings and emotions, happy, sad, She has appeared here today to remind you that feelings may be running the show. And I mean, you know, that's what we've been talking about, right? So she talks about somebody who's been feeling over emotional, who's very easily triggered. So she asks you to consider how you really feel about things, but more importantly, why. She reminds you that, you know, you are not your feelings, but you are the one who's experiencing them. Remember that as water flows, emotions change. It may be time to lose your rigidity, to be fluid and willing at times to compromise and to allow change to happen. She asks you to be mindful of the power of emotions and how they affect you. Also, please remember that feelings are the fuel for manifesting. So, be certain that you wish to create what you're feeling. Allow your feelings to pass through and focus on the positive is your advice. You are they. So this person, whomever this is coming back in. They have recognized, they have this understanding now. I feel like they've been stuck in that energy probably for some time, and there's a realization now of why, okay? Why they felt the way that they did. They're coming back to apologize. I thank you for watching, for liking, and for sharing my videos and for subscribing. Also, thank you to everyone who has sent in a donation. It is greatly appreciated. Many blessings to all of you.